This episode opens up with the friends having a discussion at the Central Park Cafe. All three girls agree that kissing is a very important part of sex. Joey thinks they're joking, but the girls convince him that this is true. Rachel says that everything you need to know is in that first kiss. All three boys agree that the kissing is just a necessary part that you just have to get through. This scene ends up with Rachel suggesting that the boys focus on the kissing again, or they will maybe end up alone. On the background in this scene, we see Gunther. He is the operator of the cafe, not the owner, but I think he's maybe the manager. Anyways, he will become quite an important character in the show later on. There is a background actor who is sitting on the bar stool in the back, and I thought he was quite animated in the scenes. I just thought that was funny. Next, we are introduced to Ross's place of work, which is Museum of Prehistoric History. This scene opens up with Ross having a bit of a banter with a co-worker of his. But eventually his ex-wife, Carol, shows up. And apparently this co-worker of Ross's is familiar with her. Anyways, Carol joins Ross in a display scene. They exchange compliments, and Carol reveals to Ross that she is pregnant with his child. Carol is played by Anita Barone. She played Carol for a very short time because she left Friends to pursue a more full-time role in a different show. In fact, this is the only episode we will see her playing Carol, and she was later replaced by Jane Sibbett, who played Carol for the rest of the show. And next we go to Monica and Rachel's apartment, and the gang is watching Three's Company. It was a very popular show in the 70s. In the same scene, we find out Monica's parents are coming to visit. Poor Monica is super stressed out and she doesn't want her friends making a mess out of her apartment. In this scene, we also find out that Monica feels that her parents favor Ross, her big brother. She feels as though her parents are super critical of everything she does, but her brother Ross can do no wrong. The ugly naked guy is mentioned for the first time in this scene as well. He is a neighbor who apparently is ugly and naked. Supposedly he has gotten himself a Thigh Master, which of course was a cutting-edge workout equipment from the 90s. Next, Rachel comes out of her bedroom and she tells her friends that she has lost her engagement ring, which she is preparing to give back to Barry tomorrow. Eventually they find out that she probably lost it in the lasagna she helped Monica make. So of course they have no other option but to dig in and start eating. Next, Ross comes in and tells everyone that Carol is pregnant. I would like to point out that Monica's apartment number is still number 5. Alright, so now Ross and Monica's parents are visiting, and they are actually awful to her. Monica was right. They definitely prefer Ross over her, and they are super critical of everything she does and says. Ross does come to her defense, which I think is very nice of him. On the other hand, their dad gives Monica kind of underhanded compliments. It could be better, but at least he's not straight up rude to her. Later in the evening, Monica actually convinces Ross to tell their parents that he's expecting a child with his ex-wife. Upon finding out this information, they are stunned, but somehow they blame Monica for not telling them. Now it's the evening and the friends are hanging out at Central Park. They are discussing parents, and we find out that Phoebe has a twin and Chandler is an only child. What I thought was funny is that Rachel asks Joey to turn off the lights as he leaves, even though Rachel is still sweeping and cleaning up the cafe. Like, why would you want the lights turned off when you're still working? Weird. Anyways, Rachel and Ross have another sweet conversation in the cafe, and they talk about love and life. The scene ends up with Rachel resting her head on Ross's arm, and they're really building up their romance expectation for this duo in the first 2 episodes. In the next scene, we are at the maternity clinic with Carol, Ross, and Susan. Susan was played by Jessica Hecht for all of the 10 seasons of the show. In my opinion, Carol and Susan are super unfair to Ross in this scene. They are trying to push him out, and they won't even want to name the baby Geller after his last name. So Ross is fully preparing to leave until hearing his baby's heartbeat for the first time. This is a very sweet moment, and the 3 of them finally come together a little bit. Next, we move on to Rachel visiting his almost husband Barry at the dentist clinic. Barry was played by Mitchell Whitfield. Rachel finds out Barry is actually doing better than she expected. And she finds out he went to their honeymoon with her bridesmaid, Mindy. Apparently he fell in love with her and they are a couple now. In the final scene for this episode, we see Ross showing his ultrasound video to his friends and family, and most of the friends don't really know what to make of it, but Monica gets really emotional and she seems to be very excited to become an aunt. In the final part of this episode, we see Rachel calling Mindy and telling her that I hope she will be happy with Barry, and also if they ever have children, Rachel hopes that the children will have Barry's old hairline and Mindy's old nose. This was a pretty funny episode to watch and I really enjoyed it, and I hope you did too. The next episode on the watch list is Season 1, Episode 3, called The One with the Thumb. So I will see you in the next review video. Bye!